Okay, for your third video, this is going to be highlighting what we call the kinetic chain. And we didn't really get the chance to address much of the lower body on Sunday as I would have liked to, but we will be doing that moving forward. Now, the thing we want to be concerned about here is there's a couple different things with our both of our feet and legs. Okay, so we want to start off by labeling this back leg here, our right leg. That's going to be called our drive leg, and this would be our drive foot. Okay. The front side is going to be called the stride leg and the stride foot, and I will also refer to it as the brakes. Okay, so when we are throwing a football, we want this to be an explosive movement. So when we get ourselves in position, like the way you kind of rock back into it, we want to eliminate that rock, but do the same thing that you did. Okay, so you got yourself in a position where you put all your weight on your back foot and then you worked your drive. So this is what I would refer to as the drive. And the drive is when you take this back foot and you really drive it into the ground at this angle, which is going to create something called ground force. Meaning, as hard as I push into the ground is pushing back to me. So that's the angle at which we would like to drive our foot into the ground. When you drive your foot, that's going to cause your stride. So drive causes stride. Okay? The front foot wants to stride towards our target and end up pointing our toe directly at our target, which you do a pretty good job of. The way that you turn your foot, that's exactly what we're going for, the way you turn your foot. So starting out, you got some positive stuff going on here. Okay? The thing we want to work on is the placement of that stride foot. I want your body to stay back and keep your hips back in the throw. So I want to think of my foot as sort of just skating away from my body. So right now, foot's going to open and stride and land right in its location, which I'll highlight again in another video from a different angle to make this more clear. But we want to keep our body back in the throw. And the reason being is once we take our stride step and we get on top of our foot, like right now I would describe you as on top of your foot. Okay, like if I take a line here and draw it down over your foot, your body is on top of that thing. So your weight, okay, the best way to describe this is the throw being an explosive movement is we're going to create power from the back drive leg. Okay, this leg and this foot driving into the ground is going to generate power. It's going to generate power forward. Okay. Then when you land your stride foot right here, we're going to land that stride foot on the balls of our foot, which right now, excuse me, that's an errant line. Right now, the way you land your stride foot, that's perfect. You're on the balls of your foot. As soon as the balls of that foot touch the ground, we now want to have the ability to shoot our back knee, drive our back knee forward, which is right here. That's that real drive action of the back foot coming from that ground force I was mentioning. As soon as the front balls of the front foot touch, the stride foot touch, you want to immediately bring your heel down to the ground. Okay? That is going to stop your power from moving forward and send it upwards through your body. So if we were to visualize this, picture your body is a giant tank of energy. You are driving power forward in your throw. If we have bend in that front knee coming forward and your weight is leaning forward, that would be the equivalent of energy spilling out of your knee. Energy spilling out of your knee. Okay? As you continue on the throw, if you are bending over at the waist, if we have this angle at our back, consider that energy spilling out of your shirt collar. Ideally, we want to finish as upright as we can be with from the waist up so that we can get all of our energy up and into our arm for the throw. So again, come on back. You want to picture your energy driving forward from your drive. As soon as the front foot lands and the heel then is able to drive down into the turf, that's going to redirect your energy upwards through the body. As we now work our race and our squeeze, the squeeze will help keep you upright from the waist up. And now that's going to allow your body to stiffen up, which will then allow your arm to act as a whip, and it will snap out. So now we have our energy essentially traveling along that path. Okay? That's the ideal path to generate the maximum amount of efficiency and energy with our arm. And it's not all about your throwing, it's not all about your arm, but it's about grasping the understanding of how to control your body and how to appropriately proportion your energy usage. So that comes from drive of the back foot leading to stride. Now we're going to land our brakes, coming down on the brakes, and now we work our race squeeze, and that's what allows us to get all of our energy up through our body, through our core, and out through our arm. Okay, so that's a lot of information I just gave to you, and it was a bit of a mouthful on a video, which I understand. But if you can think about understanding drive, stride, brakes on the lower half. Upper body you learned, rev, race, squeeze. So the order in which we go is drive causes stride. When the stride foot touches, that should ignite your drive knee kicking forward, your brake coming down, and that is the time that we want to work our rev. Not sooner than that. You don't want to rev until your stride foot touches the ground with the balls of your feet. That's kind of your trigger. And really, if you pictured a rubber band stretching, the longer we stretch that rubber band, the more we pull it back, the faster it snaps. That's the same idea that we're creating with your body. We're essentially trying to stretch that rubber band across your core as long as we can, as hard as we can, and then once we touch, that will ignite us super fast, and it will stretch that core, make our core torque, and allow our arms to move much faster along that path that we already know about. Okay, so one more time, going back, picturing what we just discussed in your throw, watching it here. Okay, so we have a lot more to give on that back drive knee, as well as understanding our stride and brakes.